Hello and welcome to another Ask Nico Q&A where you ask me your questions and then I answer them to the best of my ability. I am going to change things up a little bit for the Q&As, guys, just because I'm noticing there's kind of like, I guess you could say competitive subject matter going on, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just getting more and more. So for the questions that are like looking for astrology readings and astrology chart interpretations, I'm gonna ask y'all to kind of hold those questions until I do another live Q&A, which is usually very much all about astrology. And the next live Q&A that I'm doing is actually going to be on the 23rd, okay, so June 23rd. I didn't get any personal astrology questions this time, so I think we're okay. But just for everyone to know, because I'm kind of noticing, I want to make it be, a little bit more like universal. Not everyone's gonna have like Jupiter at 9 degrees Aquarius in the 5th house, trine to Lilith and all that kind of stuff. So just to kind of, we'll make it definitely more about your personal charts than the live one. Ada DeVoe asks, what is your take on the Charlie Challenge? I've only seen like 2 videos of the Charlie Challenge, and for those of you out there who don't know what it is, it's kind of like the 20 teens version of Bloody Mary, where it's like you are setting up like a pencil or a pen and you say Charlie and it's supposed to spin or something. I'm not sure if it's like for divination because the videos weren't that long. I don't know how I really feel about that, because I'm kind of like, well, when you balance something like that, whether it's on folded paper or, on some kind of pointy device, I mean, you underestimate how air currents can actually flow. I mean, somebody could, and how long it takes to build that kind of momentum up, but it does. So I'm hesitant to say I think Charlie is a real thing. Minerva Mini G asks, hi Nico, I'm loading from your Q&A. Awesome stuff. Thanks. My question for you is, what do you look at most when considering a couple's compatibility? Do you consider just the Sun and Ascendant? What is important to consider? The Mars and Venus question... Oh, thanks in advance. Honestly, when I look at a person's compatibility, I do look at, the Sun and the Ascendant, but I honestly want to pay attention to how a person is working on those things. And when I look at synastry charts, I'm looking at, yes, the Mars and the Venus, the Moon, but I'm also looking at Mercury and Saturn, believe it or not. I do look at Saturn. Because to me, Saturn doesn't represent challenges. Saturn can also represent the sense of direction, their sense of commitment, their ethics, their personal code of honor. And I think that's very important to look at. I do definitely look at Venus and Mars, but do I have the most important? Probably not. Holly Coleman asks, here's an out-of-left-field question for your Q&A. What are your 5 favorite food dishes you like? 5 favorite food dishes that I like? Well, my number 1 favorite is shrimp tempura. You can bet if I'm pulling an all-nighter and doing a crap ton of videos, like it's the 3rd week of the month and I'm recording your weeklies and I'm recording your monthlies, and I'm doing your daily, and if it's a Tuesday I'm also doing a Q&A, and I'm doing video files for people, and you will bet I will be chowing down on a ton of tempura. Teriyaki is not bad, but tempura is definitely number 1. I mean, I really do enjoy a lot of East Indian cuisine, so I think that anything with paneer masala comes to mind absolutely first. Seafood enchiladas, anything with fried shrimp actually. 5, what would be another one that I like for 5? My 5th favorite food dish, pizza, to be perfectly honest. I think we go through a lot of pizza in this house. Rainbow Sea Pagan asks, hi Nico, love the Q&As you've been doing. I have a Q for you. If someone, himself, has experienced levitation without intending to during a time they were feeling peaceful and they want to experience that again on purpose, what would you recommend to try in order to achieve that result? I don't know if I could say. I've never been there. I've never gotten to a place, I don't even think I've ever felt that peaceful. But I think that, to be perfectly honest, if I were to say maybe the last thing you want to do is look for things to try. Especially when you're looking for a place of peace where you just kind of float up, you weren't trying, so, I mean, I couldn't say like, surround yourself in amethyst or, or drink this tea You know, unfortunately, I couldn't. So, and this is a little out of my ballpark. I'll just say that right now. Levitation is not, you know, I mean, or the concept of that kind of inner peace is that's not really, you know, I'm working on that myself. But I do know somebody who has achieved levitation, and I do believe him when he says so, and he also has witness testimonies. You know, Mike, Indigo speaker, maybe you want to shoot him a question about that, and maybe he'll do a video about it, and I will mention that to him tomorrow as well. Callan Smith asks, is there an age you would consider to be too young for me to do a reading, even if it were an adult? I don't think so. I obviously can't take readings for young people online because they have to process with credit cards and PayPal. But as far as young adults are concerned, hey, I'll give you a reading. I think that it all depends. I mean, I would happily do like an astrology chart for a parent who was like, hey, so, you know, I want to know, like, you know, what can you tell me about my son and, you know, what the energies of the planets have going ahead of him. That seems perfectly fine to me. Would I do like a tarot reading for a 15-year-old? Probably not. And they don't need tarot readings at that age. They really don't. Melissa S. asks, hi Nico, hope you're well. As an intermediate tarot reader, sometimes I encounter or hear about situations that require more reading experience to deal with. Basically, let's read through this together. My friend this is the last one, so we can go a little longer. My friend tells me that she had 2 tarot readings 3 days apart about her relationship issues. She says the first reading was reassuring and inspiring, but the second reading greatly unnerved her about the future of her relationship. Nothing negative in particular happened between her and her partner in those 3 days. If a person gets a tarot reading for the same issue 3 days apart, would that alter the outcome of the question, or does it provide just another perspective of looking at the same issue? Does my friend get to pick which reading to follow? She commented that she was feeling emotionally tense on the day of the second reading. Does that change things? Where does the difference between the 2 readings come from? And does the fluctuation of content in a reading depend on the energies of the reader or the querent? Overall, what is the best thing to do when stuck between 2 readings? To be perfectly honest, she probably shouldn't have done that, but I understand some people want to go for reassurance. If the reader is good, the energies of the querent will not screw up the reading. I'll say that right now. If the reader is, you know, is talented and good, then they don't need to worry about that. If you have a situation where it's like this person is going back for more and more readings, each reading is going to be true. I'm serious. And here's the thing, when she says she goes and gets the first reading inspirational and reassuring, is she going to 2 different readers? There are some readers out there who choose to omit negativity. To myself, I find that to be fairly irresponsible. Because if I was going to step off the curb and there was a bus about to hit me, I'd like somebody to say, watch out for the bus. But some people just don't want to get negativity in their readings, and so they don't want to hear that. If she went to the same person and it happened twice, then, you know, if it was the same person twice in a row and it turned out a little negative, then what I would say is that you're getting more information about this reading. Now, I would ask your friend, really, what is she trying to be picky and choosy about? Okay, readings are not spells. So when somebody gives you a reading, it doesn't mean they're casting a spell on you or speaking something into being. What's happening is that your friend is basically getting the full perspective of the situation. Maybe the second one was negative because, again, maybe the first one, the reader was trying to omit some truths. Or maybe this is just new dynamics that, you know, that would have been unseen before. I mean, you can't see everything in one reading. So if the first reading says, like, you guys are doing great, you and your boyfriend are going to be doing wonderful together in 3 months, like you might even talk about moving in together. And then the second reading says, you two are going to be fighting like cats and dogs in 6 weeks. Well, that's not 3 months, so you're going to get both. Also, in relation to the tarot, she asked another question. I would like to know if it is possible to circumvent, dodge, or block the strong energy that affects the Tower card. Well, you've got to ask the tarot, what can I do to prevent this? Really, you can. If you're not interested in practicing any kind of spiritual or magical craft where you would protect yourself, I would ask the tarot, what is a good way to avoid or circumvent that tower? Or, what is a good way to mitigate it? Or how do I make the most of it? Not all energies of the tower are negative. I've had the tower show up for somebody who won $10,000 on a scratch ticket. You better believe there was a tower. They ended up moving. So I don't think that's always necessary. But I understand what you're saying. But if this person is not doing, you know, working with a lot of spiritual energies on a participatory, again, more, I guess you could say, you know, manual level, then they need to just ask the tarot what can they do to circumvent or prevent it. And if it says nothing, then, you know, sometimes when we stray from our path to try and prevent something, we only seal the deal. You know, that can happen too. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway guys, that is the reading for this week. Looks pretty interesting to me, if I must say so myself. But I hope that you guys all found this informative, and if you do want to ask me a question, you can follow the link below you can post a comment below, or you can post it on the Scarlet Moon Facebook wall, or tweet at me at Scarlet Moon Nico. I'll talk to you later.